Hello everyone! So today I thought I would film a makeup tutorial as my first YouTube video. I've been wanting to start YouTube for about 4 years now and I just never did, and so I thought, screw it, I'm gonna do it! So I did, and here we are. I filmed a makeup tutorial. So I did a lighter cool tone smoky eye. It's a bunch of silvers and whites, and then I did a pop of mint underneath and then a mauve nude lip. So if you want to see how I created this look, then just keep watching. First I'm going to start with foundation. I'm going to use Revlon 24 Hour Color Stay Foundation in the shade 110 Ivory. Pump that onto the back of my hand. I'm going to be using the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush to apply this. Alright, foundation is done, and since I have some marks still showing through from acne scars and acne itself, I'm going to be using Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 15 Fair. I'm going to be using a flat synthetic brush to blend this out. The other day I was watching Manny MUA's Snapchat story, and he tried the new Morphe concealer and he used it with a damp beauty blender, and he said that it creased a lot and it wasn't his favorite thing. And so I noticed that this concealer had been creasing all of a sudden. Oh god, I just threw my makeup brush.
Oh god, I just threw my makeup brush.
I noticed that this concealer had been creasing all of a sudden. It wasn't creasing before, so I was like, well, maybe it's my damp beauty blender. So I used this brush instead, and it held a little bit better instead of creasing. And I don't know why all of a sudden it just started creasing one day. One of the things I don't like using a brush to blend out concealer like this is that it takes forever. To be setting my foundation and concealer, I'm going to be using the Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. That is a mouthful. If you are dry, I do not recommend this powder. It will all the oil out of your face. And I am very oily, and so I love it. I'm going to use a smaller fluffy brush to bake underneath my eyes because that's where I've been getting greasy, and I don't want that. I usually put the loose setting powder on top of my marks that usually start to show through at the end of the day, just because they're darker and this makeup comes off. Then I will set my eyes to get ready for eyeshadow. I like how I decided to do a YouTube channel when I broke out a day ago. So that's where I'm at in life. Right, and then I'm going to let that sit for a little bit. Next, I'm going to be taking the Morphe 9B palette. I'm going to be taking this color right here, applying it from the apples in my cheeks and sweeping it back. And be very, very light-handed when you use the Morphe 9B palette. It's very, very pigmented! If you ever get too much blush, you can just use the brush you used to set your face with the translucent powder, because then it will pull it down and blend it out, so it's a win-win. For some reason, whenever I do my left side, I accidentally get some right here, and I don't know why. Stop it! Alright. I'm going to dust off that translucent setting powder on the marks of my face now. I'm still going to leave it under my eyes, because that is how oily I am. Next, I'm going to be using the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Glow Palette. Since I'm doing a cool toned eye, I'm going to be using Pearl as a highlight instead of Champagne Pop, since it's a little more goldy or champagne-y. Champagne Pop. I'm going to be using a fluffy synthetic fan brush to be applying this to the top of my cheekbones. Look at that! Now we are done with highlight, so we're going to move on to eyes now. I'm going to brush off the translucent setting powder underneath my eye. I just use an eyeshadow to fill in my brows, and I really don't even fill them in. There's just a little hole right here and a little hole right there as I went over the whole brow. Because if you got brows, there's no point to fill them in to where they look drawn on. Embrace the hair that is growing. And always remember, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. For the base of my eyelid, I'm going to be using Maybelline Color Tattoo Eyestudio 24 Hour in the shade Too Cool. And I'm going to be using a short, dense brush. For me, that's easier for most control and precision of applying a cream eyeshadow. And I'm going to take that from here to about here. And that's just gonna be a nice white base for our white eyeshadow that will be going there. The only thing I don't like about this eyeshadow is that sometimes it just creates a chunk like right there, and it's just like, ugh, to blend it out. Good enough. So I'm going to be taking the Color Concept palette, and I'm going to be using this white shade right here to set that and create a whiter base. Next, I'm going to be using the Shany 120 palette, and I'm going to be using this lightest silver shade right here. This is going to be our transition shade to start blending out the silvers that we're applying to our eye in the crease. Wow, did you see that? Because I saw a bunch of eyeshadow dust. So we're just gonna blend this in our crease and outer V. And as like Jaclyn Hill's husband says in the Husband Does My Makeup Challenge, I think it was she did, blend till your fingers bleed, pretty much. Nice and blended. Next, from the Shany palette, we're going to be taking this shade right here and just doing the exact same thing to create more depth, but always start with a lighter shade because then it's easier to blend and it's more forgiving. Because if you just go in with like a straight black, it's going to look like you ran a car over your face. It's not going to be pretty and it's going to be hard to blend out. But if you start lighter and go darker, it's much easier. Now from the Shany 120 palette again, we're going to be taking this shade right here and doing the exact same thing. Alright, next from the same palette, we're going to be taking this shade, and now we're really starting to darken it. And this one you're going to keep tighter and lower, but you still want to make sure it's blended. Next, from the same palette, we're going to be taking this shade right here to blend it into the brow bone. Just so it's nice and smooth. Alright, then we're going to use this shade right here to highlight our brow bone. As you can see, I really like it since I've hit pan on it. And we are almost done with the top part of our lid. We are almost done with our eyeshadow on top. I don't know. Next, I'm going to be using this color right here for the base of my lid also. It's just a little more frosty and pigmented. And it's just, oh! No. Yep. Oh, that was lovely. And I'm only applying this where we applied the white cream shadow and white eyeshadow. I'm going to use the same white we just used on our lid on the inner corner to highlight. For the star of the show, I'm going to be taking this color right here, a mint green, and applying it to my lower lash line. This you want to keep tight so you don't look crazy. At first I start in tapping motions just to pack it on the eye, then I move on to sweeping motions to start blending. Just doing the same exact thing on the other eye, as I'm not in the camera. Now we have both minty eyes. Next I'm going to be taking the Sephora Contour Matte Gel Waterproof Eyeliner in the shade White Russian, and I'm going to be using that in my waterline to brighten and open up the eyes. There we go. Next I'm going to be using the Maybelline Gel Eyeliner in the shade Blackest Black. I'm going to do this off camera just because I know this is not going to go well if I try and be in the camera frame. And now eyeliner is done. Next I'm going to be taking the CoverGirl Lash Blast Fusion Mascara in the shade Very Black and coating my upper and lower lashes. Alright, so mascara and eyeliner is done, and eyeshadow and everything else. For lipstick, I'm going to be mixing a few. I'm going to use Maybelline 425 Plum Paradise. It's real cute. I look like I'm about to become like a Queen of Hearts with it just in the middle. Then we're going to mix that with NYX Nude. Then to like blend it all together and lock it in, I'm just going to be using a pinky lip gloss. I don't even know what this lip gloss is. I've had it for so long. It smells like watermelon Jolly Ranchers, so that's fun. So when I finish with my eyeshadow, I usually like to take my concealer and clean up the edges in case there's like eyeshadow like out here. Not that there is, but you get what I mean. And it sharpens up the wing, so it just makes it a little more precise, and it's just like, and who doesn't want a wing that could cut? Like, that is the goal. You probably can't even really tell a difference, but I can, because I'm up close. That was too much. Yes. Don't you just love when you get like a face mountain right where your blush goes? Okay, so another trick with your lipstick, see I've already got some on my teeth, is you take your finger, do that, and look how much lipstick is on my finger, and so that could end up on your teeth at one point if you did not do that. And to set this, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Slick Setting Spray. This stuff is life. So what this does is that it makes you matte, but it also just kind of like brings all the powders on your face and not make them so like chalky and ugh. When I spray this, I try not to like move my face at all, like, So if you move and it's still wet, it's gonna crease, dry, and now you have a dried crease, and that's not cute. I usually don't contour or use bronzer because I am very pale, and if I do it, I look orange and muddy, and it's not cute. So I just usually do this. When you're as pale as me, it's difficult to find foundations light enough. That's why I love the Revlon Color Stay foundation, is because it actually matches this paleness. Like, I'm like as pale as freaking sour cream. So that completes my first YouTube makeup tutorial. It might have not gone that well because I know I went out of frame a bunch of times, and just now I was not actually looking at the camera. I keep looking at the viewfinder. Get it together. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe, because I'm very new here. So, bye guys! To be setting my foundation, I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose. Oh my god. Ah, that's not what I meant to do. Freaking under eye. Crap.
The sun went behind a cloud.
I'm going to be... And since I'm doing a cooler toned eye, I'm going to be using Pearl rather than Shany. since I'm beautiful.
This is hard.
I swear, if my camera dies, I'm gonna be pissed. I forgot my makeup brushes. I'm gonna be using a... What the heck is this? Ah! Whoa!
I noticed that this concealer had been concealing. What?
I'm gonna be using a fluffy fan brush to be...
Sneezed on the beat and the beat got sicker. Yonsei all on his mouth like liquor. Like liquor, like liquor.
Who is texting me? At 24-hour... What the heck is this?
That's why I love the Revlon Color Stay 25. That's why I love the...
I can't talk. Now that we are done with highlight... Ah!
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody gets that way.
I'm in this. Okay. And now, whoa! I'm going to be using a flat. Oh my god! To set my foundation and concealer, I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier. I can't talk. I'm a mess. Okay. I want Dutch Bros.